Welcome students. Today we are going to discuss a very famous drama by George Bernard Shaw. The title of the drama is Arms and the Man. Let's begin. We are going to start the main story. Let's go through the key facts about the play. The full title of the present drama is Arms and the Man, an anti-romantic comedy in 3 acts. The present drama is divided into 3 acts, 3 sections. The title comes from the opening words of Virgil's Aeneid. In Latin, that is arma, rumque cano, meaning of my arms and the man I sing. So the title of the present drama is taken from this writer Virgil's Latin work. The text in Latin language is the title of that Latin text, right? And from that text, the dramatist Shaw derived, or let's say copied, the title of the present drama. The present drama is written during early 1890s. Shaw was at that time in Ireland and England, right? So he shifted from Ireland to England during the writing of this play. The present drama is published in 1898 as a part of Shaw's plays, that is, Plays Pleasant volume. The dramatist Shaw published a bunch of dramas, right? Bunch of dramas. So the title of that drama bunch is Plays Pleasant, right? That is called a volume. It had included Candida, the famous play by Shaw. Right? You you never can tell, and the Man of the Destiny. So in this volume entitled Pleasant Plays, we have the other dramas like Candida, You Never Can Tell, The Man of the Destiny, and Arms and the Man. So the drama Arms and the Man was first performed right on 21st April 1894. Right, this is the name of the theater, Avenue Theater. Right, so the drama was staged during that period. There was an end of Romanticism, the beginning of modernism. Then there is the rise of socialism also, because we call it as Samajwad, right? So equal justice, like that, freedom, equality, all these values included in socialism. And then Marxism was there, right? You know Karl Marx. So that period was influenced by the theory of Karl Marx, which was based on socialism, right? And worsening class divisions. So class division was there. Class division in the sense rich and poor, right? The present drama has genre of comedy. The setting of the present play is Bulgaria. It's a country. The background of the present drama is Serbo-Bulgarian War in 1885. Right? So Serbia is a country. Bulgaria is a country. Right? These 2 countries are near to Russia. Right? So there was a war between these 2 countries in 1885, and in that war, Bulgarians won that war, right? In a historic battle of Slivanska. That's the name of that battle, that war. What's the point of view of the present drama? It is a humorous play that shows the futility of war. Here, futility means uselessness. G.B. Shaw never supported the concept of war. He was against war and battles. He was of the view that the wars and battles are the biggest enemies of the mankind, right? So there is no need of war at all, according to Shaw. So he calls war as a futility. Futility means useless things. War is a useless thing, right? And he also criticizes if there is a glorification of war. The glorification, right? War means a chance to show the bravery to the soldiers. The soldiers sacrifice their lives for their countries. All this is glorification of war, right? So according to G.P. Shaw, war should not be glorified because war always has bad impact, right, on the humanity. So he was against the war. That's why he deals with the same theme in the present drama. So he shows the futility of war and deals comedically the hypocrisies of human nature. So these two are the main focuses of the present story. The first is futility of war, right? And the second thing he wants to highlight is hypocrisies of human nature. Hypocrisy means uh, home, we call it. It's a drama, right? You know that what our behavior is totally different from our inner thoughts. What we feel inside is totally different, and our behavior is totally different. So there is a difference between our thinking and our behavior. That is called hypocrisy. So hypocrisies of human nature. How humans are hypocrites. How they are cheaters. Humans are cheaters. They are not loyal. They are not honest. Right? The humans make a drama of many things. So these two issues are highlighted in the present drama. So these are the key facts about the present play. Let's move further. Let's have a glance over the information about the playwright. George Bernard Shaw, the dramatist, was an iconoclast. So this word is associated to George Bernard Shaw, iconoclast. Iconoclast means a person who breaks up the old myths, the old theories, the old mentality, right? The old attitudes. Their old attitudes, old mentality means outdated, right? Iconoclast. So what is an iconoclast? Iconoclast does what? He destroys old and outdated myths, old and outdated attitudes, old and outdated thinking with the help of his writing. In Marathi, it is called Murti Bhanjak. Bhanjak means to break. Murti means old myth, right? म्हणजे जुन्या ज्या बुरसटलेल्या विचारसारणी आहे, जुने विचार आहेत, जुन्या रूढी परंपरा आहेत, ज्या आज काही उपयोगाच्या नाहीत, तरीही लोक काय आहेत त्यांना कवटाळून बसलेले आहेत, राईट? अशा गोष्टींना तोडण्याचं काम जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ करतो. That's why he is called as iconoclast, right? Iconoclast, in other words, it can be called as social reformer. So he is called as an iconoclast. Right? So many famous myths are totally challenged and destroyed by George Bernard Shaw over here. Right? In the present drama, see futility of war. We can witness that war is glorified in our society, right? युद्धाला भरपूर सपोर्ट केला जातो, राईट? भव्य दिव्य असतं युद्ध, युद्धामध्ये खूप सॅक्रिफाईस दाखवावा लागतो, सैनिकांना त्यांचा जीव गमवावा लागतो, राईट? मग शौर्य दाखवलं जातं युद्धामध्ये. म्हणजेच काय आहे, युद्ध जे आहे त्याला ग्लोरिफाय केलं जातं, राईट. पण लेखकाच्या मते, शॉच्या मते, युद्ध हे सगळ्यात वाईट अशी गोष्ट आहे. म्हणजे ही सुद्धा तो मिथ इथे तोडतो, राईट. दुसरी मिथ कोणती तोडतो इथे? ऑफ लास्ट, दॅट इज हायपोथेसिस ऑफ ह्युमन नेचर. आपण आपल्या मनात वेगळं असतं आणि आपल्या बोलण्यामध्ये वेगळं असतं, वागण्यामध्ये हे वेगळं असतं. हा जो विरोधाभास आहे हा सुद्धा लेखक त्या स्टोरीमध्ये दाखवतो आपल्याला. दॅट्स व्हाय इज कॉल्ड ॲज an iconoclast. As we discussed earlier, that he was from Ireland, right? Born in Dublin, July 26th, 1856 is the birth date. Similar to the epithet Shakespeare plays, he used Shavian plays, right? So, as we discussed in our last lecture, that next to Shakespeare is who? George Bernard Shaw. So Shakespeare's dramas are called Shakespearean plays, and G.B. Shaw's plays are called Shavian plays. Right? Shakespeare wrote 37 plays, but George Bernard Shaw wrote altogether 62 plays. 62 plays, right? Quite remarkable. Shaw was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1925. He also won the Academy Award in 1938 for writing a screenplay of his famous play Pygmalion for the big screen. Means for the big screen means for the film. Yet he is the only person to win both Nobel and an Oscar. Right? He is the only person. G.B. Shaw received these two honors, that is Nobel Prize and Oscar also. Shaw was one of the most well-read persons of his time. So most of his dramas, most of his articles, right, are well-read by the people. Right? So though he had no formal institutional degree, he had no formal degree even. Right? So without a formal education, he managed to write such a quality type of literature. According to G.B. Shaw, that he received no knowledge in the school. That was his statement. He received no knowledge in the school. So quite realistic approach he had. He said, school was to me a penal servitude, means a useless thing. George Bernard Shaw died in 1950, right, at the age of 94. So in this discussion, we will have the introduction, the author's biography we just have, then themes we would discuss. We also go through the characters in the present drama. We overview the plot of the present drama along with author's motive and the conclusion. Then let's move ahead. So the present drama, Arms and the Man, is a play by George Bernard Shaw, published in 1894. As we discussed, its title comes from Virgil's Aeneid in Latin. The play was first produced in 1898. It is an anti-romantic comedy and humorous play. Anti-romantic. Here, anti-romantic. Romantic, this word does not mean to love, right? Here, romantic means all the goody things, all the what to say, cozy things. ज्या गोष्टींबद्दल आपल्या मनामध्ये फार स्वप्न असतात, अपेक्षा असतात, अशा गोष्टीमध्ये काय रोमॅन्टिक, राईट. त्या अपेक्षा हे स्वप्न कशा असतात, सत्यामध्ये असतात का तर नाही, राईट. मग त्यांच्यावर टीका करणारा जेही नाटक असेल, कादंबरी असेल, त्याला काय म्हणतात तर अँटी रोमॅन्टिक. जसं युद्ध हे फार भव्य दिव्य असतं, राईट. हा काय आहे, रोमॅन्टिक व्ह्यू आहे, राईट. सर्वच सैनिक युद्धभूमीमध्ये पराक्रम गाजवण्यासाठी जात असतात, हे काय आहे, रोमॅन्टिक व्ह्यू आहे, राईट. स्त्री आणि पुरुष एकमेकांवर प्रेम करत असतात, म्हणजेच ते एकमेकांबद्दल अतिशय प्रामाणिक असतात. हा काय आहे? रोमॅन्टिक व्ह्यू. राईट. एकमेकांच्या प्रेमात पडलं म्हणजे ते एकमेकांसाठी काही करण्यासाठी तयार असतात. एकमेकांपासून खोटं बोलत नाही, सत्य बोलतात प्रेम करणारे लोक. ते काय आहे? रोमॅन्टिक व्ह्यू. राईट. पण या गोष्टी प्रत्यक्ष सत्यामध्ये नसतात, त्या आपल्या फक्त मनात असतात. राईट. व्हॅल्यूज म्हणूया आपण त्याला, ड्रीम्स म्हणूया. राईट. पण या व्हॅल्यूज, या ड्रीम्स, they don't have realistic shape. Right. And if some writer attacks on, or let's say criticizes these goody things, these romantic themes, it is called as anti-romantic comedy. So the present drama attacks on the concept of war, the honesty of the soldiers. Right. सर्व सैनिक काही देशासाठी प्राण त्यागण्यासाठी जात नसतात. काही सैनिक हे स्वार्थीही असतात, नाटक सुद्धा करतात देशभक्तीचं. ही गोष्ट इथं लेखक आपल्याला दाखवतो. इट इज कॉल्ड अँटी रोमॅन्टिक. सर्व सैनिक शूरवीर असतात, देशासाठी जीव देण्यासाठी तयार असतात. इट्स कॉल्ड रोमॅन्टिक फिलिंग. राईट. बट दिस इज नॉट ट्रू इन द केस ऑफ ईच अँड एव्हरी सोल्जर. बट शॉ म्हणतो की प्रत्येक सैनिक हा अशा मताचा नसतो, काही नाटकबाज सुद्धा सैनिक असतात. राईट. So it is anti-romantic comedy, right? And humorous play also. So comedy is created because of the dishonesty of the characters. If you go through the main theme of the present drama, you can say that the present drama is a humorous play. It shows the futility of war, uselessness of war. It deals with hypocrisies of human nature, right? In a comic fashion. Hypocrisies, right? All humans are hypocrites according to G.B. Shaw. It is basically a story of love and war, right? These two words are very important in the case of the present drama, love and war. So these two romantic ideas, right? See, love, romantic ideas. I love you, you love me, right? So we are ready to do, right, all the things, right? I will do this to you, you will do this to me, right? I am honest to you, you should be honest to me. I will not deceive you, you should not cheat me, right? So love is very glorifying thing, right? But love is criticized by the dramatists in the present drama, right? He wants to show that love is not bad, right? But the people who are not serious and honest in love make the concept of love a big joke. का म्हणतो की प्रेम ही गोष्ट अतिशय चांगली आहे, पवित्र आहे, पण जे लोक प्रेमात पडतात ना, ते काय आहेत? सगळीच काही खरी नसतात, सगळेच काही इमानदार नसतात, काही एकमेकांना फसवतात, राईट? एकमेकांना खरं बोलत नाही, राईट? त्याच्यामुळे तो लव त्या गोष्टीवर खूप हसतो लेखक. आणि वॉर, राईट, युद्धावर सुद्धा अशीच टीका तो लेखक करत असतो, राईट? सो ह्युमन बिहेवियर इज प्रेझेंटेड in respect to the two things, that is love and war. The play tries to tell us that aristocratic pretensions have no place in today's wars. Aristocratic tensions have no place in today's war. Is the total concept of war has been changed. Total concept of war. Total concept of war means the soldiers used to sacrifice their lives for the sake of their country. Right, but this is not, this does not happen in the case of each and every soldier now, right? So the total concept of war has been changed. The brave is not the one who is rich and belongs to a noble family, but the one who fights with a big heart in the battlefield, right? So Shaw wants to tell that many hypocrite soldiers are there in the armies who are who wants to make a show that they are serving their countries, but actually they are not the brave soldiers. They are escapists. Escapists म्हणजे पळपुटे. काही काही सैनिक फक्त असा आव दाखवतात, नाटक करतात की ते देशासाठी सर्वस्व द्यायला तयार आहेत. पण बरेचसे सैनिक हे पळपुटे असतात असं शॉ म्हणतो. कुठं बोलतात असं शॉ म्हणतो. Right? And who is brave? According to G.P. Shaw, G.P. Shaw tells us that who is rich and belongs to noble family. Right? तो श्रीमंत आहे आणि फार उच्च घराण्यातून आलेला आहे, तो ब्रेव नाही, तो शूरवीर नाही. Right? शूरवीर कोण आहे? Shaw tells us that the brave person is who fights with a big heart in the battlefield. Right? That big heart means honestly. So the definition of a soldier is given by G.P. Shaw. He tells us that the noble and sincere soldier fights with full courage in the battlefield. Here battlefield means yuddha bhumi. Right? तो खरा सैनिक. Right? So a person who is rich and from a high class family cannot be brave. So to prove this point, he presents variety of characters in the present story. Right? There are some soldiers in the present story as characters, and Shaw wants us that see how they are behaving, how the soldiers in the story, they are not honest, right? That's why they are not brave. The play also highlights the human natures like hypocrisy, dual behaviors, and betrayal in love. So the study of human nature is presented in the story by the dramatist. Hypocrisy, how people are not honest, how they are not sincere, how they are not loyal. Loyal in love, loyal in relationship, loyal in their duties. त्यांच्या कर्तव्याबद्दल सुद्धा ते लोक सिरियस नाही. So they make a drama. There are certain characters, soldiers are there in the story who are hypocrites. Hypocrites why? Because they make a drama that they serve their country. They are ready to sacrifice their lives for their country. Right? So they make a drama. Love pairs are there, love birds are there in the present story. Right? But these love birds, the lovers, they are not sincere to each other. Right? So they are hypocrites. Dhongi are dual behaviors. Right? So the behavior and the thinking, so the inner feelings and the behavior, there is a big gap. Right? That is called dual behavior. We know dual means two. Dual SIM mobile. Right? So dual means of two types. Right? So feeling is different and behavior is different. Right? Betrayal in love. And because of the characters are not sincere in their love, right? They are not loyal to each other. It automatically results in betrayal in love. Betrayal is cheating. So these things are presented by the dramatist to the characters. Right? The writer also mentions the class difference in society in a mocking style. Here, mock means it just laughs at, tingle karne, right? Cheshta karne. He laughs at the human behavior of the characters. Class difference. As we know, here class difference means rich and poor. Status, right? G.P. Shaw tells us that love is a sacred thing. Love, प्रेम हे अतिशय पवित्र गोष्ट आहे. Right? So, if somebody loves a person, he or she should not take into consideration the status of that person, the financial condition of that person, right? The beauty of that person, right? So all these three things are not useful as far as love and relationship is concerned. Beauty, money, and status, right? But what happens actually, in reality, the people fall in love with beautiful people, rich people, and the people with high status. प्रेमामध्ये असंच होतं की नाही. शॉ म्हणतो की प्रेम करत असताना आपण त्या व्यक्तीचं सौंदर्य बघू नये, त्या व्यक्तीचा पैसा बघू नये आणि त्या व्यक्तीचे पोझिशन स्टेटस बघू नये. प्रेम फक्त मनावर करावं, त्याच्या भावनेवर करावं, त्याच्या विचारांवर करावं. पण काय दिसतं आपलं आज, प्रेम कोणावर केलं जातं जास्त करून? जी व्यक्ती सुंदर आहे, स्त्री असेल किंवा पुरुष असेल, सुंदर व्यक्तीवर प्रेम केलं जातं. पैसा असेल तर त्याच्यावर प्रेम केलं जातं आणि त्या व्यक्तीची पोझिशन स्टेटस हे सुद्धा बघून प्रेम केलं जातं. प्रेमाच्या व्याख्या बदलतात, राईट? म्हणजेच प्रेम हे मनापासून केलं जात नाही. देयर इज नो सिन्सिअरिटी इन लव्ह अँड दिस इज कॉल्ड हायपोक्रेसी. तुमच्या सौंदर्याला बघून, तुमच्याकडच्या पैशाला बघून, तुमच्याकडच्या स्टेटसला बघून जर कोणी तुमच्यावर प्रेम करत असेल, ते प्रेम नाहीये, ते काय आहे? इट्स अ हायपोक्रेसी. Isn't it? So this thing is clearly highlighted by the dramatists through the characters. We see in the characters in the present play that most of the characters, they are love pairs, right? But what happens when the story moves ahead, they are not honest to each other, right? So their love is affected by the beauty, the money, and the status of other characters. So they change their focus. They actually change their love partners. काय होतं? दुसऱ्याचं सौंदर्य बघून, पैसा बघून, पॉवर बघून, स्टेटस बघून ते चक्क आपले लव्ह पार्टनर्स बदलतात. ते एक्सचेंज, राईट? शेमलेसली एक्सचेंज. निर्लज्जपणे आपले लव्ह पार्टनर्स एक्सचेंज केलं जातं. याला प्रेम म्हणायचं का? No, that's why he's called an iconoclast, right? That's why G.B. Shaw, right, highlights the game of love and war in the present drama. So what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the two main aspects, main parts of the present play. The first is betrayal in love, that is cheating in love, right? Cheating in love. And the second is hypocrisy of people in daily matters. I think daily matters means day-to-day life. Betrayal in love, as I told you that lovers are not honest in love, right? Their love is influenced by, affected by physical beauty, money, and the status. So these three things determines the feeling of love, right? But what is expected? It is expected that love should be pure. Love should not concentrate on physical beauty, money, and other things, right? But what happens in practical life, we, the people, are not honest as far as love is concerned, right? So we are selfish in this respect. We are selfish. So we are impressed by physical beauty, we are impressed by the money, we are impressed by the status of some person, and that's why we fall in love with that person. That's it. But we do not fall in love because of the behavior of that person, because of the feeling of that person, right? So the concept of love is polluted. The concept of love is polluted, right? So betrayal in love. So because of the physical beauty, money, and status, we even ready to cheat our love partner. So cheating in love, right? It is accepted. It is accepted, right? Both by men and women. So in the present story, we can see betrayal in love by the characters. So G.P. Shaw laughs at such kind of a love. He asks a question whether this is called a true love, and the answer is not at all. Not at all. As I told you that the characters in the present play, they are ready to exchange their love partners. Right? Love is followed by the social status. Social status. If you are rich, I will love you. But if you are not having money, I won't love you like that. So selfish kind of love is there. Then the second thing is highlighted, that is hypocrisy of people in daily matters. Right here, hypocrisy. So inward feeling is different and behavior is totally different. So these difference is highlighted by the dramatist. Right? Father and daughter, they are not honest to each other. Love pairs, they are not honest to each other. Right? Friends, they are not honest to each other. So they are hypocrites. They try to cheat each and everybody. Right? So that's it. The betrayal in love and the hypocrisy of people in daily matters. These two things are highlighted by the dramatists in the present play. Right? The play was one of Shaw's first commercial successes. And when the drama Arms and the Man was presented on the stage for the first time, it was a big hit. And the people, right, welcomed the drama, right, in a very positive way. And as far as Shaw's name and fame is concerned, this drama brought him a name and fame on a large scale as a dramatist. He was called on the stage after the curtain, means when the drama was over, where he received enthusiastic applause, right? So the people welcomed their stage performance, right? They appreciated the story, they appreciate the presentation style of the present drama, right? And it gives an anti-romantic view of life, as I just expressed the views on the concept of anti-romantic. Right? Author's biography. We went through this biography earlier, right? We also went through the literary career of G.P. Shaw, that he won Nobel Prize and Oscar also. The other plays by Shaw are Arms and Man, Saint John, Man and Superman, Major Barbara, then Candida, Pygmalion is also very famous play by the dramatist, right? So the themes in the present drama are romanticism of war, romanticism of love, class discrimination, idealism versus realism. Right? In our next part, we would deal with these themes, how dramatist G.B. Shaw tries to present the story basically upon these themes. Right? So he shows us the mirror of realism, right? And he just focuses on the concept of human behavior in the present time. So in the next part of our lecture, we would deal with the themes. Till then, let's stop over here.